I got this for $460. You heard me? $460, and I'll tell you how. The 360 tracking on this drone is what really got me. I do e-bike reviews on my channel. I do scooter reviews on my channel. I ride them. I like to film myself riding. Either I get a friend to help me record who wants to spend most of their day following me on a scooter or e-bike, I don't know, or I get a drone that's capable of tracking me. Now you might say, why the Mini 4 Pro? Don't you have a Skydio? I explained to you guys, yes, I had a Skydio, but that wasn't mine. It belonged to a friend. And guess what? I had to give it back. And then I had to make a decision. Do I spend $9.99 on a drone that does not have a better camera than this Mini 4 Pro, but has better tracking? Maybe if I was doing dirt bikes or jumps or high-speed stuff, then yes, I would opt for the better tracking instead of the better camera. But I always explain to you guys, I'm a camera first guy. And even though this is not the best camera for out there, it's certainly better and more feature packed and has even a bigger sensor than the Skydio tracking drone. So with that, on top of that, this being more affordable, a couple $100 less with a better camera, I figured, why not go with this? Plus, when I put out Skydio videos, they don't get a lot of views. They don't. Great tracking drone, but they don't get a lot of views. And on top of that, Skydio just came out and said they're not making consumer drones anymore. So why am I supporting that industry? Now you might be saying, oh, but you have a Mavic 3 Pro. Doesn't that track? When I am in control, I trust me. When this is doing its own autonomy, no. Oh, but don't you have DJI refresh gear? Yes, but I don't want to deal with that. Refresh costs money that I had to put on here. And if I crash, not only does it cost me more money in refresh on this versus this, but there's also a possibility that if I crash this, I might be able to pick it up and dust it off and keep going. I've never seen this hit the ground and picked up and get dusted off before, at least not while tracking. So this hits the ground or has a mishap when it's tracking, more than likely, I've got to spend money. This, I might be able to get away with it. Even if this breaks, I'm spending a lot less money to insure it. The deductible is a lot less compared to this. And on top of that, they added D-Log. And anyone who knows me knows I'm a slut for D-Log. I love me some D-Log in my life. I'm a drone guy. I make Drone Luts. If you haven't seen it, check out this video up here with my LUTs and how I apply them and use them in DaVinci Resolve. I make DaVinci Resolve video editing tutorials for beginners. If you haven't seen that playlist, check it out. There's a lot if you hit that playlist bar when it comes to me and videos and teaching and tutorials. If you're new here, go check out my playlist. So at $450, the features that this presents just seemed like a cheaper alternative to get good enough video for what I do here on YouTube and for the product shots that I need. I rather shoot with the telephoto lens, shoot with the 3x lens, and shoot with the main 4/3 lens when I have full control of the drone, or use it for waypoints or for other things. Not saying that the tracking is bad, but I almost crashed this a couple of times. And even this almost crashed a couple of times here too. The tracking on this is very good with people. I mean, I was doing some tracking today, walking, and it did pretty well, as you can see. Even turning around, going in front, because when you're walking, you're not going that fast. So even in a moderately congested area, this does really well tracking someone who's walking. And the new tracking features where you can just drag it around the screen makes it so cool and easy. This drone handles it well. But tracking vehicles, not so well at all. But I do have a feeling that DJI will release some more updates, making this even better. How it does with e-bikes and stuff yet, it's been raining all week here. As soon as I get some tests done, I'll share that with you. But one thing's for sure, you can't tell me that you're better off tracking with this and risking this over this. It just doesn't make sense. So I had some subscribers saying that in the comment section too. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so that's another reason why I chose to get this. And the Mini 3 does do tracking, but it can only trace track you. It can't parallel track. Well, don't let me say it can't parallel track. It can parallel track, but it cannot parallel track. Means follow you at the side, which is great product shots following from the side. It can't do that and dodge obstacles at the same time. It'll fly sideways straight into the nearest tree. So for the Mini 3 Pro, even though the camera was definitely good enough, not having that 360 obstacle avoidance was definitely a bummer. Am I making sense so far, guys? Let me know if I'm not making sense, or do I sound like I'm trying to justify a purchase? You may have your own set of reasons, which I will be looking out for in the comment section below. Even though I made that video yesterday saying to you guys, if you're primarily a photographer, you should save your money, and a bunch of you agree with me, that's only a small amount of people. The majority of people are going to go out and buy this drone. And as a result, being that it only costed me $460 to acquire it, I might as well A, keep it, B, make videos with it. Because the new drones that come out, those videos get the views. If I make a Mavic 3 Pro video right now, it won't even get half the views that the Mini 4 Pro will get. Whether it's because people want to buy it or people are interested in it. And that's just the name of the game. So you can kind of look at it as an investment. Like me making this video and sharing it with you right now and you watching it is going to contribute to some revenue for me to pay for this. So it kind of pays for itself in a sense. Speaking of investment, all I had to invest was $460. How did I get a Mini 4 Pro for $460? Very simple. You look at the total price, which is $960. Minus $500. Minus $500, I'm left with $460. So all I came out of pocket was $460. So where did I get the other $500 from? I sold my Mini 3 Pro. I sold it. I sold my Mini 3 Pro to help offset the cost of this investment, because I do think this is worth the $960, just like I think the Mini 3 Pro when it came out was worth the $960, and that's why I bought it. But I don't believe that this is worth $960 if you already have a Mini 3 Pro. Again, just my opinion. And this is not just what I say, it's what I do. It's gone. My Mini 3 Pro is gone. One of my subscribers picked it up this morning and I got $500. And now when the bill comes for this in the credit card, all I have to do is pay $460. Done. But I'll tell you what, guys, if I were not a YouTuber and I was just a regular average consumer looking at drone videos, learning about drones, having fun flying drones, and I already had a Mini 3 Pro, I absolutely would not touch this drone with a 10-foot pole, and that's just me. I would have to skip and wait because I'm a camera first guy. And then there's not much photography benefit in this. But because there's so many other pieces at stake for me here, it is worth me purchasing it. And I hope that makes sense to you. Now some other people were saying in the comment section of my last video, well, why don't you just keep both and have the Mini 3 Pro as a backup? Well, first of all, I have a backup here already. It's not like I don't have this as my only drone. I have another drone. So I don't need a backup for a backup. I really don't. I can spend $75, get the refresh for this. So if anything happens to this, I pull this out, send this off to get replaced, and in no time, DJI will send a replacement here for me. So for me to keep the Mini 3 Pro and shell out another $960 just didn't make sense to me. And I'll take it a step further and let you know, even if I was making $500,000 to $1 million a year, that still would make no sense to me, because you know what? There's so much use for $500. For one, it could help buy a new laptop. Help buy a DaVinci Resolve Studio to help me edit these D-Log features that these new drones are coming with. Help me get the additional hardware. It can be spent to take me to some location that I would enjoy flying these drones and have a little vacation. So it doesn't really matter of how much money I was making. I would still find use for that money instead of redundancy, if that makes sense. So for me, from an investment perspective, from a just consumer spending money perspective, it doesn't make sense for me to keep the two, even if I was retired and I had money coming in every month and I just had extra money. I would find so many other hobbies, so many other sports, so many other things to do. Look, I just put rims and tires on my truck. That was my Air 3S money that I had saved from all the old drones that I sold, that I don't even miss today. And just sitting there waiting on the Air 3S that never showed up with a bigger sensor, I found some use for the money. When the Air 3S comes in, then I'll look at it, if it ever comes in, and decide whether it's worth the money or not. But there's so many things, so many sports, fishing, remodeling of your home. Like, there's a million things to do in the world. For me, about value and money. I spend most of my week working for money. So the least I can do for myself and the time that I put into getting money is to spend it wisely. Now, if you're a drone collector, that's different. I guess people like collecting stuff. Just remember, from the time you open that box, these things go down in value. They don't go up. They are not an asset. They're just a hobby. They're like cars. From the time you drive off the showroom, the value goes down. I'm explaining myself to you. Why? I don't know, because that's just the type of person I am. Everything has to be logical and has to make sense. If I'm going to spend some money, I have to discuss it with my wife. $20, $30, no problem. But once I start going over that, it becomes a discussion. It has to get approved, because that's just the way the home works for me, right? So yeah, I hope this video brought you some value. I hope it at least gave you something to think about from another person's perspective. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I know nobody likes to be told what to do, including myself. I'm just sharing me with you and how I operate when it comes to these devices. So give this video a huge thumbs up for me. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I release new videos. Make sure you check out my LUTs in the description section below if you need LUTs for the Mini 4 Pro, Mini 3 Pro, or Mavic 3, or any other drone. Make sure you consider becoming a patron. It's a great way to connect with me on my smartphone, like a text message. All right, guys, with that being said, it's getting dark here. I'm going to do a quick little bit of flying, and I will catch you guys, well, whenever I can.